Come here. Too special.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing.
Seth, you're muted.
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
All right.
Good evening. How y'all doing tonight?
Good.
Not bad.
So, Seth, I know what you've been up to. Well, Sheikah, and welcome back.
Thank you.
How are you feeling tonight?
I'm feeling pretty good.
That's great.
A lot better.
Go ahead.
It's just a lot better than I normally do.
So, what's changed? Has something changed?
Uh, Basically, like my health has changed since I last talked to you. Not in as much pain nearly as I was. Um, I got some money now because I've been working.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay. Yeah. So it's been pretty good.
Okay. All right. Have you been doing any studying? Have you done any studying with your hope?
Uh, mm, I can't say it's not just about the same.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Takes time.
That it does. I'm on I I've been doing the workbook,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
back in the back you said something about the emotional statement. Um I s- I I started doing it, and hold on, I'm gonna go grab the book. It's on the table.
Okay.
Sorry, I've been having some health issues. I went to the hospital yesterday, to the ER. I got a inguinal inguinal hernia, where the muscle has ripped in my groin, and my intestines is popping through. So
Ow.
yeah, take the feeling of being kicked between the legs and intensify a little bit and make it go continuous. What it feels like. Okay. Um, I wasn't sure how to do the emotional statement or the emotional affirmation, because I'm emotionally stable. The only times I cry is when I see people succeed on TV, or I see somebody's family show them a recognition, or I see something that I always wanted but have never have yet to get. You know, family see what he's really about for the last at the last moment, right before he passes, or something like that. That'll bring tears to my eyes. It's just because you know I've it's just because I value the importance of moments like that I tear up when I see them happen. I don't cry because I'm sad. I laugh a lot.
Mhm.
I look forward to waking up every day. I don't get angry because anger is a negative emotion. I'm not sad, and I'm not afraid of people. So I mean, like, all my emotional assessment answers are positive. So how am I supposed to turn those answers into something? How am I supposed to make an affirmation out of something that is not really there?
Well, understand something that these assessments, um, you don't have to do them all, and you don't have to do an assessment if you feel like that you are already where you need to be. So if you feel like you're already where you need to be emotionally, you don't need to do anything with that. I will say that what you can do is you can take all the positive that you're feeling emotionally. Because let me ask you this: you weren't feeling that way 5, 6 years ago, were you?
Definitely not.
Right. So what you might do is you might reflect on that a little bit and see how in the, because remember where you're at, Seth. Right now, I think if I got you right, where you're at right now is you are coming through to a new essence in your life, and wanting to be a coach and wanting to be able to help people who have gone through what you have gone through,
On the phone.
or who are going through what you have gone through, to get to an emotional state where you are right now, wouldn't you say?
Um, Definitely. I mean, like, I beat that horse for a long time, and I'm still ready to beat it. I'm looking for answers. I'm looking for people to ask the questions. As soon as as soon as I got somebody to ask questions, I'm ready to answer some questions.
Okay.
How did I get there? How did I do it?
You,
All I can do is share my personal experience
well, that's true.
and
That's
relate
exactly
to,
right. And that's where you're going with developing your program. So,
yeah.
and as far as you ready to get where people can ask you questions, part of what you're doing right here tonight is you're planting seeds, right? So, one of the things that when you say you're ready to have people start asking you questions about how you got where you're at, uh, that takes time, Seth. It takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, and uh, don't rush it too much. I know that you need to feed yourself and all that kind of thing. But here's something I want to say to everybody right quick. That is that there are things that you may have to do as you're developing your skills in your new essence to help you to maintain your life while you're developing your skills. Like myself, I have spent, in fact, I was looking at my resume today. Um, I've got about 40 years of experience in project management, quality management, and all of those things. And all of those things have been feeding my face and housing my family and taking care of us as I have been evolving into the essence of the coach that I am, that is still not making enough money to be able to house me and clothe me and feed me and do what I want to do. So it's an affirmation that it's coming. But see, here's the thing, and here's something that, and Sheehan will testify to this too. And hi, Sheehan.
Hello.
Um, Sheehan will attest to this, that uh, we have to move forward with our development. We have to work on the things, because once we learn what our essence is, then we have to be open to learning everything we can about what it is we're trying to do. And great things will start coming to your head. The thing that we're struggling with right now So from a coach to a coach perspective here, and Bianca and hi Bianca, and so Bianca and Washika and so hear this.
Mhm.
We've got this plan right now that's coming to fruition that has taken 10 years to get where it is right now. Excuse me. It has taken 10 years to get to the point where it is right now, and it is still not completely matured, but it's where we feel like we're going to be able to start marketing it from a perspective of building communities, these hope communities, right? And we just haven't been ready yet. We haven't been ready to build these things yet. Even though we've been chomping to bit, people like Seth and Darlene and all these other people are doing these great things, we haven't been ready for ours. And I can tell you why. Because what's coming at me and Cheyenne right now is phenomenal. The only words I can put to it are that it is so innovative. And I was talking to somebody about this today. And I went to pick up some laptops and a sewing machine for the classes we're getting ready to teach in Richmond. And I just got chill bumps. I just got chicken skin thinking about going to Richmond on Friday. But I was talking to a couple that I went to pick up laptops from today, and I dropped off business cards and stuff. And the lady says, "Well, what is it you're doing?" And I said, "Do you really want to know?" And so I started talking to her about building these communities. And when I expressed to her, I said, "Now get ready." I said, "Because this is going to be very offlandish to you." And when I told her about people getting together in a like mind and coming to a place and setting up a community and building a community and then having an infrastructure in place to bring others to that community temporarily, to teach the people who built that community what they know about affluence and about being able to live on their own, it stunned her. It stunned her. And she said, "That is fantastic. That's magnificent." So she drugged me out the house. She took me out to her husband, who she said is a jack of all trades. And she said, I want Taz to hear this. His name is Taz. And he told me the story. He told me about a story about why he's Taz, which didn't surprise me a bit. But anyway, I started telling her husband about it. He's looking at me and he's looking at me and he's looking at me. I'm like, oh my God, I'm thinking back in my mind, this guy thinks I'm full of crap. And then when I was done, he said, "You are onto something that could make it, you could change the world." And he said, I hope it works for you." I said, "Do you understand how affluent you are? These people aren't they aren't really, they're like us. They're like, I don't know what they're worth." And we talked about this a little bit. And I said, "Imagine this." I said, "Imagine your family being worth about $200 a week, maybe $400 a week if they work at McDonald's and they're lucky enough to work full time. And they're bringing home $400 a week to feed their face and to clothe themselves and to house themselves and to feed their babies and to do all the things they do. Do you think that someone like me or Cheyenne or Seth would be affluent to them?" The answer is yes, it would. So when we start talking about the definition of affluence and wealth, it's all in how you define it, correct?
Mhm.
So I wanted to share with y'all from coach to coach how it may take a time to get where you want to be. And as one of my mentors, Kevin Trudeau, taught us long ago, he said, "Be careful how big your vision is, because you may not ever get there." And this is something Cheyenne has helped me with too. My vision is so big, it is so vast, that it's possible that I would not be able to get there if it was not for other people pulling me to say, "Go do this little piece right here first. Go do this over here first." Right, Cheyenne?
Mhm.
So my word to you today is a little bit at a time is where you got to go. Know your vision. Know that it's going to get there with your affirmations and affirmation journal and the things that you're saying, but know that it's going to take time for the universe to align and bring those things to you to be able to build it. Because right now, Sheena and I have got people who are beginning to align for us. There's a guy who we're trying to align with right now that we want to plug into our model to teach patriotism. This just came on us. I mean, he's been around, he's been circling around for a while. But as we were talking last night, it became very clear that we have to have a patriotism component in our model. And this guy has it. He's got that puzzle piece. He's got it hammered down. He knows he's got it. He's got membership available and all that kind of stuff. He's got this really cool thing. And I know Sheen's meeting with him this week, and I think I am too. I'm trying to figure out when I'm going to go meet with him.
Did
It'll be
you
the same
see
meeting.
that he wanted you to call?
Huh?
Did you see that he wanted you to call him?
Yeah, I haven't called him yet. Yeah, I saw he wants me to call him.
Okay.
I am working full time still, so
Oh, I know. And he's sensitive to that. Everybody he's working with is strung out.
yeah. Yeah, so I'm gonna join and I'm gonna do all that. I'm gonna do all the stuff that we got to do, and I hope that we can follow the same thing you're doing with him. But maybe we'll all have breakfast with him on Saturday morning. I don't know, something. I don't know. We'll do something. Anyway, I just wanted to bring that to you guys as we're sharing our week. Hi, Helen.
Hi.
I just wanted to bring that to your understanding that you're ready to, Seth, you're ready for people to come to you and start asking questions about what you've experienced, about where you are. But know that takes some time to build. That takes some time for people to start aligning around you to bring that to you. Where you're at right now is probably perfect for what you want to do. I'm thinking, I haven't ever been there, but what I'm thinking is that with the people that I understand are coming to that spot in Indiana, if you have a curriculum, and I know that Sheehan's been helping you with this, if you've got a plan put together that you can start coaching people, start reaching out to those people on the spot on that facility. Get a class. Tell them you got a class in hope. And you don't have to, I mean, you don't necessarily have to go out there and start jumping out there with your Rantha and neo-think and all that. Just do hope first. Take it, do the simple thing, do the simplest thing you can think of first. And to me, that's hope. If you want to expand their minds later with the universal thing with your Rantha and Jesus and that's fine. But start with something simple. Start with a class that's simple. I think you'll agree that this got you where you are. It's very simple. It's very straightforward. It's very easy. And I'll make a deal with you, Seth. I've already made one deal with you. I don't know if you've done anything with it. I'm not going to ask you if you've done anything with it. Have you done anything with it? No, just kidding. I've already made one deal with you, Seth. I'll make another deal with you. You bring people in here that are, what'd you say?
I just got the one for me to work on. I didn't get the other one.
Here's the other one. The other one is I will make time for you to come on this channel and teach classes when you tell me you're ready and you bring the people to teach.
I've got one.
There you
I know
go.
one.
That's where you start. Because here's the thing. Bianca's trying to get in here. Because here's the thing. You see these people that are in here right now? The people that are in this class right now are the ones who get the most value from this class. Bianca, Helen, Seth, Oshika, and me. We're all in this right now because we all share and gain value from these classes on Tuesday nights. Hey, Helen,
Yep,
how are you?
I'm good.
You got anything to share?
Well, as far as I know, November 1st is definite.
Okay.
We'll be leaving this planet. I'm making arrangements with my children. They understand. Of course, my daughter wants me to straighten out my room. She's got a box for me for things I want to keep. But do I want to keep them or do I want her to keep them? Stuff to throw away, yeah. But I'm already doing that. I've thrown a lot away.
Right.
Well, she's given me 3 boxes. I don't know exactly what she wants me to do with them, but I'll figure it out.
We're going to miss you. We're going to miss you greatly.
Definitely.
I wish you didn't have to go.
Yep, I know.
Well, when Mike gets here, if you guys want to talk to me, just grab me, okay? Talk to me. That can be, it can be subliminally or however, contact me, just talk.
Right. Through thought. That's a good way.
Yeah. I have that capability.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
Hey, Bianca, how are you? You got anything you want to share?
She's singing one of my favorite songs about heaven is a place on earth. That's my tune. That's what I keep saying. We all need to create it to be that way.
Yeah. We understand technical difficulties. We all have those from time to time.
Oh, Lord,
Yep.
yes.
Okay. So let's get down to it here. So Seth has gotten through the workbook. I hope that everyone else has gotten through doing their thing. I hope that you guys are using your affirmation journal or have begun to use your affirmation journal to write affirmations down and to understand that affirmations are an statement of what is here and now that you are working with. I pay attention to what my heart tells me and I embrace my honesty. My heart will always support what I do when I do it with honesty and with my essence and my vision. I have the power given to me by my creator to connect to the universe through my hope system in order to create my own heaven on earth. I love without condition. I forgive all who need forgiveness. And I perform a random act of kindness every day. I'm an accomplished coach living with financial and material independence because I create writings and speeches that inspire and motivate others to realize their dreams. Because every day I am satisfied that my services have been delivered in the best way to assist the most people.
Cool.
I'm going to to mute everybody for a minute, except for myself while I'm talking, because there's a lot of background noise right this minute. And I really want to talk to you for a few minutes. And I want to read to you for a few minutes. Because now that you've got a clear understanding of the hope formula and how honesty, omnipotence, pure love, and essence work to form in your life, it's time for you to start programming your own belief code into your subconscious mind to bring it all together for you using hope. In the chapter on openness, we spoke about the belief systems and how they're used to mold the outcome of your life. And that's where the rubber meets the road. I've never talked to you about quantum integration, but now I want you to take the information you've created, use your belief in that information, and mold a message to be sent to the infinite universe of possibility and resonate your thoughts at the proper frequency to receive the return on the investment of your time in creating your hope in such a way that it will be fulfilled. I asked, does that not make sense to you? For the remainder of our time together, I want you to think of the universe as a supercomputer, our creator as the universal programmer, and yourself as a computer networked with all the other computers in the universal supercomputer. Realize that what you program into it will cause a reaction, and it can be either positive or negative. Remember what I told you about energy, vibration, and resonance? Now you have to program your system to vibrate at its highest possible frequency in order to receive the creation of your new reality. This is how miracles and life-changing events come about. In his book, The Spontaneous Healing of Belief, Greg Braden provides 31 belief codes that are the keys to the formulation of and programming of your belief system. His book has been so powerful in my ability to understand and reprogram my beliefs that I highly recommend that you get his book and take the time to read it and absorb the priceless information he provides. It, along with other writings and teachings, changed my life, and it'll change yours too. I've included 2 of the codes here for our purpose of integration. Number 30, to change our beliefs through logic of our minds, we must convince ourselves of a new possibility through inarguable facts that lead to an inescapable conclusion. Number 31, the power of a miracle is that we don't have to understand why it works. We must, however, be willing to accept what it brings to our lives. To change our beliefs through logic of our minds, we must convince ourselves of a new possibility through inarguable facts that lead to an inescapable conclusion. I chose number 30 because it is my belief that if you can master this one, you will experience things in your life that will meet the definition of the next one, which is number 31, right? In everything I've been writing about in this book, there's one common thread in all 4 pieces of the puzzle. That one thread is belief. If you conceive it and believe it, you will receive what you need to achieve it. If you honestly conceive omnipotently believe, purely you will receive, and your essence you will achieve. Does that make sense? Honestly conceive, omnipotent believe, purely receive, and your essence you will achieve. Hope. Throughout our work together, you've been programming your belief system. So you should now be ready to achieve your complete hope formula because you have the subconscious belief, what some call faith. Follow the next section very closely and pay attention to the instructions. I've talked to you about affirmations. You need to be developing your affirmations. The assumption at the current stage in this book is that you have done all the things that you've already laid out, who you are and what you want. Now do these exercises to begin the process of integration and manifestation. Here's a reminder about affirmations. An affirmation is the assertion that something exists or is true. The idea of asserting that something exists or is true takes on a whole new focus when dealing with hope. Within this course, you are going to create your life vision. You must know in your mind and your heart that your life purpose is going to be a reality and that the vision you create will become your reality. In the table in the book, I lay out affirmations and accomplished affirmations that I've accomplished. And you've got your affirmation journal in your workbook. You really must, if you want to get where you want to be, take this stuff very seriously in the next phases of your journey. I'm assuming that you have read the chapters on honesty, openness, pure love, and essence, and you're leading into your integration sections. If you haven't, you should, and you must do that. Because getting to the section that you're in now with the integration is key to understanding the three basic principles that we put together with the hope formula to get to your essence. I've learned from all the experiences I'm a better human as a result. I could have gotten there a lot faster if I'd listened to my inner child, my navigator that has always been there urging me to get back on track. I now listen to him with an understanding that could only come to me as a result of completing the steps of hope. Also, the inner voice that wants me to know how I will get there sometimes gets in the way. The thing about getting in the way is pretty important. We all get in our own way from time to time. And for those of us who have lived for a long time and been through a lot of things, we sometimes revert back to the previous times in our lives that are more comfortable or that give us a sense of belonging or that kind of thing, when really what we should be doing is taking the risk, taking the step, getting out there and doing what we know in our heart we should be doing. It happens to me often. It doesn't happen to me as much anymore. I have taken steps now to go beyond the boundaries of self-denial and have moved forward into the realm of accepting what I am and who I am. So now is the time for you to work into the final hope puzzle affirmation for your life as you want it to be, which is your life vision. The action steps you need to take are thus: go back to chapter 3 and bring your honesty affirmation to your workbook. Write it down in the space provided or write it down in your journal. And as I read to you before, the beginning of mine is this: I pay attention to what my heart tells me and I embrace my honesty. My heart will always support what I do when I do it with honesty and with my essence and my vision. Action 2, you go back to chapter 4 and you bring your omnipotent statement to the workbook and write it down in the space provided or write it down in your own made journal. Here's mine. I have the power given to me by my creator to connect to the universe through my hope system in order to create my own heaven on earth. Action 3, go back to chapter 5. Bring your pure love affirmation to your workbook and write it down in the space provided or write it down in your own journal. Here is mine. I love without condition. I forgive all who need forgiveness, and I perform a random act of kindness every day. Action 4, go back to chapter 6 and bring your essence vision statement to your workbook. Write it down in the space provided or write it down in your own journal. And here's mine. I'm an accomplished coach living with financial and material independence because I create writings and speeches that inspire and motivate others to realize their dreams so that every day I'm satisfied that my services have been delivered in the best way to assist the most people. And you take all that, you integrate it into one statement, as I read to you at the beginning of tonight's discussion. So I provided a full page in the workbook so you can write your life vision statement. The next thing you will do is develop your vision board, or dream board, as many call it, which I introduced to you weeks ago. I showed you a peek of a vision board. A vision board is where you have a cork board or a whiteboard or a piece of cardboard or a news or the floor, the wall, doesn't matter. And you go in and you find newspapers, magazines, coloring books, art you've done, whatever, and you put together a collage of what your vision looks like. What is it that your life vision looks like? Where will you be? What is your affirmation for your life? What does it look like? And you paste those things together on a wall, on a board, or wherever you may think that it would be best visible to you, and you leave it there. There was a guy who learned about the vision boards much the same way I did. He was an engineer and he loved what he did for a living, but he did not love where he lived. He lived in a terrible part of town, but he wanted to move somewhere else. During a meeting one day, the company trainer brought in a person who coaches people about the power of vision boards and a way to manifest things into reality. The engineer thought it couldn't hurt to develop his vision board for his new home. He cut out pictures and pasted them onto his vision board. He then made an affirmation that he was living in that house. The years went by and the vision board got packed away in the attic. And then one day, the engineer was transferred to a new city and he had to find a place to live. He moved his family into a new home. As he was unpacking his boxes, he stumbled onto the old box and let his son unpack it. His son called out to him and asked his dad when he took a picture of their new home. The engineer said he had not taken any pictures of his new home, and he went to see what his son was talking about. The engineer was stunned to see a picture of their new home still pasted on his old vision board. That may seem like too much of a coincidence, except for the fact that the house was an exact match. It was so exact that the landscaping, colors, and city all matched. And that's a true story. So as you're doing this and you're developing your vision board, use the power of hope to know in your heart this is your life. Honestly look at it. Connect it as though you're the creator, as a God that you are, omnipotence that you are. Love it purely. Because remember, you have been cleansing yourself. All throughout our journey together, all through everything that you've been learning, you have been cleansing and opening yourself up to receive that affirmation in reality. We've been moving the clutter. We've been addressing our inner demons through our mirror and looking at ourselves in the mirror and doing our honesty assessment. We've been reawakening our belief in the fact that we are created in the image of our Creator, and that we are responsible and accountable for our own lives, and we have the power to create magnificent things. We now accept the idea that we must forgive and be forgiven, and that we must love with pureness in our hearts without any expectation of reciprocity, and that we must pay it forward. We must do random acts of kindness whenever we may possibly do that. And we know that we are here for a purpose. We know we were created to do a thing, and we have got to reawaken that. We've been doing the self-discovery to figure out what that is. And now we've got the vision coming before us to do these things. And now it's time for us to develop the strategy to get there. So now you know, or hopefully you're beginning to know what your essence is. So use the power of hope in developing your affirmation with your visions board and your vision statements to get where you need to be. That's taking it to the next, that's taking it to the next higher level of where you believe in what you can achieve. I'm glad to hear that you love doing random acts of kindness, Bianca. And yes, it is the law of attraction. You know, I told you guys when we started this that what I'm teaching is nothing really new. It's just not, it's just I put it in a different context to where it's so much, I try to make it so much more simple. So now the next thing you're going to do when you go through that, you do your vision board, you're going to then develop your strategic plan. And this is where it gets really interesting. This is where it's going to get really interesting. When you take your life vision statement, I want you to take it with you. You need to take it with you and have it with you at all times. Mine is in here somewhere. I can't find it right now. I know that sounds like an awful thing to say, but it's right there. It's in that folder right there. I can't dig it out right now, but it's there. I did it back in 2013. Here's what I did. I took a piece of parchment paper, and I will go find it for our next meeting. I'll show it to you. I promise you. I'll show it to you next meeting. I took a piece of parchment paper, and it's different words now. Their words in my book are much more eloquent and much more polished than they were in my original statement that I did on my piece of parchment with calligraphy in it. This was back when I was into the heat of neothink, and when I was thinking about writing my book. Well, I didn't know if I even thought about writing my book yet. But it's a piece of paper, parchment with written in calligraphy, and I might have shown it to Sheehan. Sheehan may have seen it before. I know when I was mentoring in neothink, I was using that a lot, and it's here. I'll show it to you. I'll show it to you next time because it's a pretty unique thing. So developing your strategic plan is something that is business oriented. It's very much business oriented. And there's a reason why your strategic plan is business oriented, and which Sheehan will much testify to, because Sheehan is now my partner in more ways than you guys know. We are partnering up in ways that are going to be completely phenomenal, I think. The next phase of this thing is to take what you've developed in your vision strategy, your vision statement, and to create a strategic plan. And I touched on this a little bit last week. You're going to start looking at how your vision is going to pan out for you. Whether you're starting out as re-engineering a business, starting a new business, or whether you're putting yourself together as a product to offer in the marketplace for a job, there must be a plan in place, and that plan must include a vision, mission, strategy, goals, objectives, and actions. By now, you should have a unique understanding of what puzzle pieces are required for any enterprise, including yourself, as the main product to offer. All these things have to be in place. They don't all have to be perfect. They don't all have to be succinct, but they do have to start coming together in written form, however you want to write them down, however you want to do it. So when you go to your workbook, in your workbook, in the back, toward the end is where you start doing this. This is where you're going to start coming to reality with what it is you're going to do with your life, your strategic plan. And coupled with your book, because the book has pretty good instructions in here about what to do with this thing. Look closely at your life vision and develop a statement that answers how will you contribute your value to the universe, knowing now what your life vision requires. This is sometimes called a vision statement. Here's mine. I help people to find their essence by delivering writings and speeches that inspire and motivate them to act on hope. Now, let me tell you about what this has done for me. This one statement right here. I help people to find their essence by delivering writings and speeches that inspire and motivate them to act on hope. Now, what we do on Tuesday nights is important. It really is. This is that working one-on-one with you all has proven to be such value to me. And the next, here's what's really starting to take off now. I help people find their essence by delivering writings and speeches that inspire and motivate them to act on hope. I now have a model to build entire communities based on this hope, based on honesty, omnipotence, pure love, and essence. Think about that. The product in our life plan is you. Describe the product, your value. Here are 2 questions your value must answer. Product characteristics include blank. The product is unique in that blank, right? These are the things that I've had to answer with what I'm doing. Sheehan's had to answer with what she's doing. And I'm going to open the lines here in a minute and we'll share. The perfect customer. Your market is some segment or segments of the universe and you are delivering your value to the same universe that provided you with your essence. How will you describe your market? Your customer may not be humans. It may be animals or plants or even the planet. Here are the questions you need to ask for defining your perfect customer. A, the market most suited for my product includes customers that blank. The customer needs blank. The customer wants blank. The decision maker for acquiring my product is blank. Now these questions, what was that guy's name? Mike Gerber, a business guru who made these questions up. They didn't come out of my head. Marketing, briefly describe how you will market your product to the universe so that your value contribution will be successful. Well, wait a minute, let me back that up. Those questions didn't come from me, but the prologue to those questions came from my head, came from me and God. In other words, when I say your market is some segment or segments of the universe, and you're delivering your value to the same universe that provided you with your essence, I came up, me and Creator came up with that. And then leading into that, the market most suited for your product, blah, blah, blah. That came from somebody else. Describe how you will market your product to the universe so that your value contributions will be successful. Fill in the blanks. I will offer my product as blank. I will offer my product using blank. Infrastructure. What do you need? And Seth, you and I have talked about this quite a bit about what your infrastructure might be. Dude, you've got the infrastructure right here. Think about that for a minute. You've got the infrastructure you need right here, right now, to be able to start doing your coaching. You've got my Zoom platform, right? I'm not going to ask you for anything. I don't want any money. You can use my Zoom platform to coach your people. I'll pay for the Zoom platform. You bring the people, you do the coaching with my help. Because you need my help. I'm sure of that. But you do the coaching, you use this platform, you bring the people. The other piece is you've got a neighborhood already and you live in where people that need your help are coming to. They may not have suffered through the same thing that not suffered. They may not have experienced the same things that you've experienced specifically, but they probably could use your guidance in overcoming something they are or have experienced in your coaching. So you've got infrastructure, bub. You've already got infrastructure. So I think that you just need to use what you've got available right there, man. So knowing, Steph, what you've got right there, you can now, and working with Sheehan, because she's already started working with you on setting up your business model. You got what you need, I think. Well, I'll open the lines here in a minute. Okay. Goals and objectives. Okay, so when a goal is where you take your mission and all the things that you've written down in your perfect customer, your product, and all that, and you come up with the goals you would need to set to get to realize your mission. So a goal might be something like my goal is to coach 20 people this year. All right, that's your goal. Your objectives to meet that goal might be schedule this many calls, call this many people to set them up for the so forth. So those are objectives. Then actions might be actually doing those things to make those calls, to make the meetings. Okay, so that's as far as I want to go tonight. I think I've filled your head full of enough for tonight. I'm gonna open the lines right now. I'm unmuting everyone, but if you're still muted, you can unmute yourself, I think. Can y'all unmute yourselves? Yeah, there you go. Seth, you're unmuted. Sheehan, you're unmuted. Bianca, you don't unmute, so you're good. And Washika, you can unmute, I think. Okay. Everybody is free to speak now. So Seth.
Hello?
Oh, go ahead,
Okay.
Alan. Oh, okay, Seth,
Yeah.
you sound down.
No, I got a lot on my mind, and I got this pain in my groin that's keeping me distracted.
All right, well, listen, man, why don't you go ahead, take it easy, get off here, go rest, take it easy, whatever you got to do. But just what I said to you on this call tonight, I think you've got the infrastructure you need to start building your plan, to start building your vision into reality. You agree?
Yeah.
All right, brother. Okay. All right. Bianca has a statement on here that says, where'd it go? Hang on, let me get back over here. I want to read it because it looked like a, yeah, here it is. This is on vision boards, I believe.
I'm gonna go ahead and say good night, everybody. I love
Good
you.
night, Seth. Take care of yourself, buddy.
Good night.
Good
Please
night.
send me the recording of this.
Good night. Sleep well.
Good night.
Take care of that pain, brother.
I'm doing what I can.
I know you are, man.
Thank you.
I know what you do. Okay.
Thank you.
How about we write down on a big paper, laminate it, cut it up in different ways, and put it back together? That's doubled as the plan and a vision board too. It comes together like a puzzle pieces. What do you think about that? Well, yeah. Anybody got any feedback on that?
Sounds good.
The one, you know what, the one thing, you write it down, yes, I agree with that. That always, when you take blue ink, put the paper, write it down, that makes it, think a thing, makes reality. I would add to that, though, to put some pictures in there too, because
Mhm.
pictures are also something that connect with the universe. That says, I believe this is what my thing, and that thing will make the universe will move things, the law of attraction, make things happen. And cut that into pieces and make a puzzle, yeah, and play games with it. Shuffle it up, put that puzzle together every other day or so. Seth loves you, Bianca. All right, Helen, you got anything else you want to add?
I was one time thinking, okay, I belong to him, he belongs to me, and he says, no, we belong to each other, or we are each other's. Well, I think that puts it all together.
Okay. We are all one, that's for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah. Sheehan, how about you?
Well, the only thing I would like to add to the discussion, because people get so wound around the axle on this, and you made mention of it earlier, but I want to reiterate, because, vision boards are great. I had one hanging in my bedroom for years that basically, when I think about it now, except for maybe one or two of the pictures on there, and there was a bunch of pictures on there. Most of them have come to pass at this point. And but people get so caught up in analysis paralysis. And this is where I hate traditional goal setting, because when you're in the process of trying to create a new reality for yourself, first of all, you don't necessarily know if you have all the tools and all the learning to get from where you are now to where you want to be, or to whatever it is you want to have. There's oftentimes a learning curve that we don't necessarily know what it looks like. And so to think that we have, we can lay out all the steps that we have to take to get to a goal is ludicrous. I mean, it really is. We can figure out the first couple of steps that we think we need to take, and we can take action on those. And action is so important, because I can't remember who said this, but it's such a powerful quote. It might even have been Kevin Trudeau. To know and not to do is not to know.
Right.
And so, we can say, well, I know that all day, but if you're not doing it, you don't know it. And so we have to get into activity oftentimes before we can see the next step to take. I mean, come on, Rick, how many of the things that we're engaged in right now could you have written as part of a goal plan? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You could not have predicted any of the things that we've got going on right now.
That's true.
And, so that's why I hate traditional goal setting, because, they say, oh, you got to write out your plan. Well, hogwash. I'm going to tell you that as long as you can keep the vision in front of you of where you want to go and what it is you think you want the results to look like, that's all that's important. And take the first step that you can see to take, because as you take a step, more will be given. you will, after you take the first step, you're going to be able to see another one. After you take the next step, you're going to be able to see another one. And that's how the creative process really works. And, you know, there ain't no way. If somebody had told me 2 years ago that I was going to find this RV on Craigslist and be able to buy it at wholesale, and, you know, all the things that we did that made this happen, I couldn't have predicted any of that. It wouldn't have been part of my goals, my goal planning, because I had no idea. No idea. So that's why I say, don't beat yourself up on the how. Know what it is you want, stay focused on what it is you want, and work on building your own personal belief that it can and that it will happen. Because, man, and Rick, I'm going back to the video that I sent you the link to here the other day. Joe Dispenza,
Yeah.
he said that so well, and he puts it in such scientific terms that anybody can be able to wrap their brain around. I mean, I just loved it. He said, you know, you've got to be able to clearly think, you know, what your intention is about where you want to be, but then you have to add the positive emotion to it, because that's how you become the magnet that attracts the things to you. So the
Yeah.
more that you can combine the vision of where you want to go with positive energy of emotion, whether it's gratitude, whether it's love, whether it's joy, those are all high frequency emotions. And if you can practice those emotions and combine them with the vision of what you want to do and be and have, then that's what magnetizes you to be able to attract what you want. And again, you're never going to be able to guess how it will come to you. You will
I need to rewrite
never
my
be able
book.
to do that. Huh?
I need to do a new edition of the book.
Nice. That's a great idea.
I think I do. I think I need to do a revision, because now that you've said that, and we've learned what we've learned, that chapter on there is a little bit overbearing. It needs to be revamped.
Updates are good. New
Okay.
revised version. I can see that on the cover.
What's that?
I said I can see it on the cover. Updated, revised version.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I think that is what I have for tonight. If there's nothing else, we'll wrap it up.
Sounds good.
Okay. If you know anybody else that needs this kind of coaching, please bring them over here, get them involved, and let them have some fun. Let them learn what we know. You know, people want to know what we know, so bring them over. Love you all. Have a good night.
Good night.
Care.
Thank you.
I'll read the book again.
Okay.